All right, well, ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa's January 8th speech was keenly watched by two community activists at Roodepan in Kimberley in the Northern Cape. But the area is beset with social problems, including unemployment, poverty and alcohol abuse, among others. Our reporter Ulrich Hendriks has more for us and certainly watched that speech with the two activists.
President Cyril Ramaphosa has just concluded his January 8th speech. Of course, that is in celebration of the ANC's 111th celebration. Now, SABC News here in the Northern Cape have been watching that speech with two community activists, Ashwil Ghulam Hussain. Let's speak to him now. Ashwil, tell us what was your what did you think about the ANC president's speech?
Firstly, I was happy with the speech that he delivered. He mentioned a few points that is much needed in most communities, especially Roodepan. But the fear that I have as a young person, as a community activist working in the Roodepan community on a daily basis, is that it's going to be an empty promise, because for years he's been giving the same speech, speaking about load shedding that is going to stop, job creations that are going to take place. Till date, I've been waiting for a PBO certificate from SARS to get funding from investors to start a center in Roodepan. No response. Made appointments, no response. Waiting till date. I again applied on the 5th of December, still waiting. So from my point of view, it's like you can just take it as a no-go. He's just standing in front of a TV telling you that it's going to change, but it won't change. For 28 years, it's more than enough. That's my point of view personally.
And he did also speak in his speech about MPOs like yours and the importance of it, and using that as a catalyst to basically develop the communities around you, like you are trying to do.
Okay. When we come to the NPO, we receive funding from social development, but that funding is not enough. Totally, it's not enough, because we host programs for youth. We get them enrolled in learnerships. It costs money. The funding that we receive from social development, the budget is strict. It's only for feeding on a daily basis, so we're not allowed to use it. However, we did apply for funding from other departments, but all of them refers us back to social development. So from my point of view, if we can get assistance from any department further, if the ANC can help us, if the president can help us, as he said that we will get assistance, we would appreciate it to start a center, because we have people that is willing to assist us. But we only need someone to stand with us that can give us the boost so that we can start. But because Roodepan, it's a disaster, and the way it's going, it's worse than it was before.
Talking about problems here in Roodepan, that also featured in his speech, like most communities. He spoke about GBV, the scourge of GBV, alcohol abuse, crimes within communities. How do you feel about what he said? And again, do you think that will be translated into what will become government policy, so that we can actually see something on the floor or in the streets?
Totally not. From my point, not. There won't be a change, because firstly, the thing that happens with gender-based violence, people don't have jobs, so they would turn to substance abuse. They would drink alcohol, smoke drugs, do things that they're not supposed to do, because they don't have something to do with their lives. They can't keep themselves busy, so they're going to do something to keep themselves busy. And at the end of the day, it's going to turn into gender-based violence, and that's how it's getting worse. Because we, as the NPO at Simanie, Community Nutrition Development Center, located in Roodepan, we had about 8 children, youth, that we rehabbed at the same premises. We rehabbed them because there wasn't rehabs for them. But luckily now we got someone from Cape Town that offers us 5 places for free. But it's a private facility. But the government can't even assist us. But the private facility is offering help to us. So from my point of view, the government won't change. It won't change unless people, as the president said, you need to register to vote. Your vote says a lot. So if people can just change the way they think, I think it will then change, because seriously, it won't. If we keep on doing the same mistake that we are doing, it won't.
Thank you very much, Cyril. Let's turn our attention now to Ms. Kensing. Tell us your impression of the ANC president's speech.
Okay, so me, Bianca Kensing, I'm happy with the president's speech because I believe that he touched on a number of aspects, and I am happy with the president's speech because I believe he touched on a number of aspects and points. But the thing I'm afraid of as a youth is that those might be empty promises. But I hope in future that these promises will be fulfilled.
And what stood out for you in terms of what he said? He spoke about load shedding, he spoke about gender-based violence, etc. What stood out for you?
What stood out for me was that when he spoke about load shedding, he was like, and they're going to accelerate the work so that they can end load shedding. Now, when you accelerate, it means that they're going to speed up the process. I hope really that they will speed up the process so that load shedding can stop, because load shedding is a problem, and most people who live on oxygen and stuff at home, with load shedding, bad things happen. So I hope really the process will be speed up so that they can restore the electrical something.
Tell me, you live in an ANC ward at the moment. We know there's by-elections coming up, so that might change or it might not. In terms of the problems that you're experiencing here, do you feel that that party is responsive to the needs of the communities here?
With the political party ANC, they're not responsive. They react to a problem after, I'm sure, 6 months or something. For instance, when there's a drainage systems that broke, a pipe or something, instead of fixing the thing within 6 days, you wait a week or two for the thing to be saved. So I don't feel like they are doing their work or anything, but I hope that in future, as Ramaphosa spoke, that they would do something to prevent these things, take extra measures.
Thank you very much. That's Bianca Kensing and Ashwell Gulam Hussein, of course, community activist here at the Roodepan in the Northern Cape.
All right, that's Ulrich Hendriks for us in the Northern Cape. Let's take another caller before we go to break. I believe we have Makabut from KZN, and I believe you're a retired lecturer, so important input that we'll be getting from you. What do you have to say?
Yes, ma'am. Makabut is my name. I'm from KZN. I was an experienced skills development facilitator, creating positions for unemployed youth for my entire life until I retired.
Yeah.
But now I'm retired, I'm bored, I just look at the people who are unemployed and there doesn't seem to be any direction. I work with 21 CETAs who could fund me for training that I used to do. Those 21 CETAs used to pay for that training. We just have to analyze what our needs are. And from there, we have to implement what the programs we need.
Yeah. And what do you believe to be those needs, Makabut?
What could be the, sorry, repeat, ma'am?
I'm saying, what do you believe to be those needs? You say we need to articulate our needs. What are those needs from where you're standing?
Yeah, from where I'm standing, we have to analyze the needs. The public cannot analyze those needs. We, the coordinators who have funding or don't have the funding or what have access to funding must first analyze those needs.
Yeah.
And once we analyze the needs, we must implement programs so we can fulfill those needs.
All right.
I I cannot afford to see people still being unemployed because the government has organized funding for 21 CETAs, and it depends on which CETA we belong to, and each program is funded by the CETA. I remember the last one we did training in Kansas. We traveled for miles, but we implemented this training. Those trainees have now got jobs and they're busy.
All right, let's leave it there, Makapoto. Running out of time, and we've got other callers who are waiting.